So I think it's about time to get started, and I'll ramble on a bit. How's the sound? Can everyone hear? I'll look in the back for nods. Okay, just want to make sure that the sound is adjusted well. So welcome to our May resident town hall. Glad to see all your smiling faces, especially on the front row. So everybody goes to the back first, so you can tell who comes in late, or comes in early and wants a front row. We have both. I'm going to start off with a couple of introductions and staff changes. Sarah, our executive assistant, is going to be transitioning to a new role. Some folks have seen her training someone recently and said, "You're not leaving, are you?" She is leaving the role of executive assistant and going to move into the sales organization and join Ryan and his team up the hill. She's going to continue working with incoming residents and try to have more and more people join Windsor Run to experience this lifestyle. Following her is Bill McKinstry. Bill is joined as our executive assistant. Just started this past Monday, and neither Bo or I were here for his first day, so he's a little, he's getting a slow introduction, but it's ramping up and getting very steep now that Bo and I are both back. But Sarah's doing a great job of training Bill. They'll continue to work together for the next week or so, and it'll be a smooth transition, but stop by, say hello to Bill, and experience his fun accent. So we feel like we need more accents in that executive administrative suite. So we're just trying to get more and more different accents, so you can stop by and have a chat with Bill. We will jump right into, it's a full agenda. We've got some mission moments, some construction update that are a little bit of a different kind of a construction update this time, and then department updates from almost every department. So we will go ahead and jump right in, and we'll start off with a fun mission moment that we had last month. Last month we celebrated Earth Day, Worldwide Earth Day, and we did a fun, great experience with recycling. So lots of folks in one form or another get takeout meals or delivered meals and have the brown bags, and so the brown bags had been collected, and we took those to an event that was at Squirrel Lake Park to have kids color them and use them and then recycle them, or I should say actually reuse them, which is the second word in the mantra of reduce, reuse, recycle. And it was a great event, and I know that many of you were a part of that, so just wanted to highlight that great mission moment for the community. And I will give a quick COVID update. I was hoping we could stop with these, but we do have a fair amount of activity on the campus right now. Currently we have 7 residents who are positive for COVID. There's a good news piece of that. 7 residents who are positive and 2 employees who are positive. All are doing well. Some have no symptoms, some have light symptoms, so that's some very good news. The vast majority, in fact almost all of the resident cases, are in Piedmont Overlook. So they're getting very good care. They're all isolated. We know how to operate in that setting under a COVID world. Chris has a tremendous amount of experience before he came down here from Charlestown in that. So everybody's great at getting good care and continuing to progress in their healing and return to normal. So we do have a little bit of a spike. We are paying attention to it, and I did want to make sure that you were aware of it. Now some community updates very quickly. If you are a resident who moved in the month of March or prior, we do want to hear about your move-in experience, so trusting that you got a letter that had a URL that you could go to that website and give us some feedback. So just a quick plug for that. We've got several different things, which I'll move through fairly quickly, in terms of what we have done around the campus to continue to increase your enjoyment of Windsor Run. For those that enjoy washing their car at our car wash station, we installed a retractable hose mechanism so that it stays nice and tidy and not cluttered, and you don't trip over the hoses as you're washing your car. So we have a new retractable hose. We added we moved actually one of the dog waste stations and then trimmed some trees to allow some more light into the sidewalk that is in the F lot behind Dogwood Place. We added, again, as the campus continues to grow, we'll add more signage, and we did add some very clear signage about, this sign is right out in front of Piedmont Overlook on Windsor Run Lane, so it's clear about lots E and F and G and H and I and where Piedmont Overlook is. So we do want people that are driving into the campus to be clear about where they're going. We did some balcony cleanings. So we cleaned about 82 balconies, and they were with a contractor that we use. We are on a 3-year cycle of cleaning particular balconies that are north or north-ish facing that seem to accumulate a lot of moss or algae or just residual from the fact that they don't get a lot of sun. So our plan is not to clean every balcony in the entire campus. It is to clean the ones that are problematic, and that'll be on sort of a multi-year, a 2 or a 3-year cycle. So we did a lot in Dogwood Place and Sycamore Square this year. We'll do Beach Hollow next year, and we'll continue on a rolling cleaning schedule. We have checked all the pathway lights now that it is a time when folks may want to be out a little bit later in the evening. So all of the pathway lights we've checked and made sure that they're working. There are a couple in front of Woodland Commons, I believe, looking at my notes, in front of the clubhouse that we have to change the bulbs on. I'm not sure if that's completed or not, but if it's not, it will be soon. So all the pathway lights we've checked and are operational. And then this one is an interesting one. You may have remembered that we had a high-speed joyrider who crashed into our front gate and at just right around where the front entrance is. And we've gotten that repaired. I'm happy that it took as short a time as it did, considering our contractor availability. And so that was some of the things that we've been doing around the community. I hope you'll notice and enjoy some of the pathway lights that are gonna light your way when it gets a little dark. The construction update for this time is actually gonna be on the inside of some of our current buildings. So we have a growing staff, and some of the staff are positions that we didn't contemplate on the original design of the building, particularly the clubhouse. We've added some positions and need some space for some of our staff to sit. So we're going to add some office space, and I'll sort of orient you. The picture on the right-hand side, I think it may be obvious, but this is the corner of the Grove that's on the eastern side. That's the hallway that goes around to Dogwood Place and the mail room and the Willows. And then this is, I guess, what's commonly referred to as the Grove corner. And we measured it off very carefully to make sure that we're not losing any significant resident amenity space. And so there are currently 3 tables in that space, and there will stay 3 tables in that space with card playing ability, and they're not crowded. They may or may not line up like this. We've measured it out before, and we may keep them, they may stay in a line, but there will be 3 same seating card tables over there, and we'll enclose this space. We'll move the furniture out into this area so that some things are still available, and create a space for our 3 dining AGMs, assistant general managers, who are, many of them Genesis and, oh, I'm drawing a blank. Barb, yeah, Genesis, Barb, and we're hiring a third one right now. They'll share all of that space between the 3 or 4 of them. So that's one place that we're going to be adding some space. This just shows you a little bit closer view on the left-hand side of what it will look like. The door will be on the hallway that goes to Beach Hollow, and there'll be 3 sort of countertop sitting areas for those folks. So they'll be able to get their work done and not have to occupy the Woodside Cafe conference room and not be sitting in other places.
Yeah, where's the
Yes, the paperback library, we are going to, I'm working with resident services to find out what the best place is for it. We could maybe put it out in this area. We want to step it off and measure it, put the bookshelves there, and relocate the buffet that's currently in this area, or we might move it to a separate place. But it will be somewhere in the community. The second 2 offices, we're going to add 2 additional offices. So just again, orientation-wise, this is the building of Beach Hollow, and we are on the 1st floor, and that's the bridge between Beach Hollow and Woodland Commons. So if you come straight out and down, these are some very large elevator areas on each floor in both Beach Hollow and White Oak Terrace. So we're going to enclose the one on the 1st floor and the one on the terrace level and create an office space there. We still have sitting areas over here, and this is actually a blow up of that same space. Here's the hallway, here's the elevator down in the lower left-hand corner, and there's still a sitting area with a table and either 2 chairs or a couch for those that would like to sit waiting on the elevator. And then we'll take this space and create an office here and an office on the terrace level of Beach Hollow. They will likely be occupied by resident services personnel. And we don't think it's a bad idea to have resident services teammates in a residential building, particularly even Beach Hollow, because they'll be easily connected to White Oak Terrace going that way, and around the corner and down this way, connected to Neighborhood 2. So easily accessible by as many residents as possible is always our goal. But we did need some additional office space, and we felt like that was the least impactful. There is some impact for residents, but we felt like that was the least impactful. So we are in the process of working with the contractor now to put a schedule together. We've chosen the contractor, well, we did the design, did the bids, chose the contractor, and working on a schedule of when they'll get that done. So you'll see that hopefully starting in the next few weeks. So now I will turn things over to Karen for our first department update.
Thank you, George. Okay, so one of the things that I was asked after last month's town meeting is to kind of give some highlights on things that General Services is accomplishing. I'm not going to do this every month, but I just want to give you a kind of a little fact of how a month of April was going. So maintenance received 271 work requests, and were able to accomplish all of them within the same month. Engineering received 62. They got the majority of them done by the end of the month, and the rest done in early May. Grounds received 7 work requests and completed all of them. And this is what's typical for housekeeping. We completed 186 apartment cleans and 6 carpet cleanings. So just kind of a typical idea of what the maintenance, engineering, grounds, and housekeeping team are doing. We went through some of these updates, things that we have going on. George mentioned the lighting survey. We started with the courtyard lights to get them fully functional. We have some other areas that we're still working on, including the front of Woodland Commons. You'll see our crews working around there. We also have brought in an electrician to do some of the repair work. The car wash hose that was mentioned earlier, this is just a plug on that. If you do use it, it's really easy to retract the hose once the water is shut off. It's not as easy if the hose water is still on. So I just want to plug that in there. Last month we had worked with our vendor to complete our annual fire damper inspections. Out of 992 fire dampers that we inspected, we had 0 failures. So this is something that we do once annually to ensure the protection of the community. And then George did mention the 82 balcony cleanings, and we're going to be doing more building cleaning in the next month and a half, and a schedule will be coming out shortly for that. Many of you have asked about window washing. It's just about that time of the year. We are reviewing bids currently for our window washing, our annual cleaning of the exterior windows. So as soon as we get that contract finalized, we'll send a schedule for that. In addition, some of the other projects that we're currently working on, the nature trail project, bocce court, horseshoe pit, all of those are out being bid right now and will be under contract shortly, and then you'll see a schedule for the timing of those projects. Recently got a request for some additional furniture out on the Willows patio. Apparently a number of residents like to enjoy that area, so we've added more seating out there. And then we're going to be doing some parking lot resealing in lots A and lot C. Schedules will be coming out for later in June, so you'll see those. But I just wanted to give you a couple of those quick updates on what the General Services team has been doing for you. If you have any questions or see anything that you think might need some attention, please don't hesitate to give me a call or give the General Services office a call so we can take care of that. Next up, I want to introduce for you Chanel, who's going to give you a security update.
Thank you, Karen. Good morning, everybody. I have a few updates. Let me go the right way. Last month, or earlier this month, we had our safety inspections, and as you all know, the fire alarms were going off, so we definitely appreciate your patience during the annual fire alarm and building inspections. We passed all of our building inspections, so thank you for your patience. And then we will have a slight delay. I know I mentioned this as well. We'll have a slight delay in receiving your new resident badges. There's some branding, logo, things that we need to work out before we start to issue those. And then June is National Safety Month. So on June 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. we will be having a safety festival filled with fun games, live entertainment, treats, and prizes. So all while learning how to be safe. I look forward to sharing safety topics with the safety committee with you all. Next up, we will have resident service updates with Maria.
Thank you. Hi, folks.
Hi.
How you doing? Good to see you, as always. So, anyone know what that is a picture of? I hear it. Disc golf. Yeah. All right. We got our first sign-ups right over there. If you are interested in learning about it and participating, it's kind of a newer thing. It's fun. We will be having a disc golf demonstration Thursday, May 26th, and Friday, May 27th at 9 o'clock, so that it's early enough where it's not too hot, just in time for Memorial Day. So look out for signs, but it'll be out kind of between Kilroy, the big beautiful tree, out behind the fireplace, and the pool area. There's sort of a good spot over there. I'm pretty sure that's where we're going to set it up. If you're interested, though, contact our fitness coordinator, Timothy, and let him know. Or if you want to just come and watch, whatever, we'd love to have you. And then for a staffing update, Resident Life will be saying farewell to a team member with both a tear and a smile. Our own Michael Brown right here. Yes, he's TV and My Erickson coordinator right now. He's going to be stepping away to a wonderful opportunity in Charlotte tourism, in the travel and entertainment industry. So we're really sorry to see him go, but we're also very happy for him. So Michael been here from the beginning. He really played a big part in getting everything started here and moved from hospitality to activities to TV and the app right now. So we're really grateful to him for his impact on the community. And please catch him and say goodbye and farewell. His last day is next Tuesday, okay? Just to mention that we're loading up on the mobility devices here, okay? So we even have an electronic scooter that somebody has lost. I don't know how that happened, really. So if you think it's yours, please come to the desk. You can describe it and we'll see if it matches. We also have plenty of canes and walkers that they might be yours. So just come on by and see if it's there. And then we do have a vacancy for a floor communicator for a Dogwood Terrace level. And a floor communicator is simply somebody who commits to trying to be somebody who creates a sense of neighborhood, right? Just for that floor. There's no heavy lifting, no real pressure. It's about celebrating the birthdays on the floor, welcoming a new person moving in, maybe sharing that somebody might be under the weather and let's wish them well, things like that. So if you live on Dogwood Terrace, please contact me and we support you through the process. It's actually kind of fun. So talk to some other floor communicators. I think they'll tell you the same. For the Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee, which is made up of residents and staff, we are celebrating Older Americans Month this month. So tomorrow, One Day University will have how older Americans are reinventing the road ahead. And then on the 25th, we're going to have an open discussion about the subject of ageism. And that'll be at 3:30. That's a new time. We had to make a change there. And then we hope you find other ways to celebrate really amongst yourselves. And then lastly, just wanted to call your attention to some things that are happening very soon. Tonight, of course, Vintage Vocals with Teresa Eamon. And then we've got a new monthly prayer service every fourth Monday in the Terrace Theater with St. Margaret, 11 a.m. These are all on your calendars and on the My Erickson. Senior Forum's coming up, Birds Across America. The Photography Club is hosting What to Do with All Those Photos on Your Phone. And then Memorial Day Tribute at 10 a.m. in the outside patio. And then in June, we've got some Mahjong classes coming up, Pride Parade, Classic Car Show, and Safety Fest. So keep your eyes on all those places that tell you about what's happening here at Windsor Run. Thanks so much. Next up is going to be Medical Center Manager Jessica Showmaker.
Hello, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good. Okay, so just a quick update. We are having a walk-in COVID clinic today between 1 and 4. So it's your third booster, your fourth booster. It's the Moderna. Whether you're a Pfizer or Moderna user, it's your option. That's an opportunity we'll have today and next Thursday. We just had some extra vials that we were able to use. So if you still have not been boosted, come on down and see us today at 1 and we'll get you up to date. If you did get your booster outside of the community, your most recent third or fourth booster, just make sure you bring a copy of your card down to the medical center so we can update it. We also just got a delivery of the Prevnar 20 vaccine. So if you're interested in getting your pneumonia vaccine, you qualify because you have not had them or have only had one of them prior. Go ahead and call us down at the medical center. We can look at your record and we can offer that vaccine to you as well.
How long are they good for?
The Prevnar 20 is one and done. That's all you need. And it's a one series as opposed to the 13 and the 23 where you had to do one, wait a year and get the other. So the Prevnar 20 is just a one and done.
So if you had the other, you still should get this.
Depending on which one you had. And you can follow up after, we can look at what you had. Okay, good questions. And just a quick update that is not on here, it's just some exciting news. As you know, as the campus grows and the departments grow, the medical center also is growing. Last year we brought on Dr. Pham, our medical director, and then later in the year, Catherine, our social worker. And I'm excited to announce that we'll be bringing on a part-time nurse practitioner to start, and which means we're going from a single provider practice to a group provider practice. So as Dr. Campy or Dr. Fan could be your primary, of course, either of those doctors can see you for an urgent visit or a follow-up visit. And now we'll be bringing in our nurse practitioner. She'll be 2 days a week. She'll be half days to start. And really the goal with her is to do all of those potential urgent, acute, same-day type of visits, or those more frequent follow-up visits that may come from Dr. Campy or Dr. Pham, where they've seen you and want to see you again in 3 weeks, instead of it being a challenge to get you onto the schedule with the book provider. We now have another provider in the practice. So the goal is that she gets to see as many faces as possible, get those relationships established, and then grow with us and expand in her abilities. So more to come on that, and we should see her soon in the next couple weeks. And I believe that is it for me. Up next is a sales update from Ryan.
This thing on? Hello? How many of you in this room have served as a resident ambassador at some point? I appreciate that. So some of you have been here for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, whatever. In the 4 years that we've been open, the event program has ebbed and flowed and changed dramatically because of COVID. And so not next week, on the 7th, anybody who's been part of our ambassador program or who has any interest in continuing to be a resident ambassador in any capacity, whether it's helping out at sales events or being somebody who just shows their apartment from time to time or whatever, in any capacity, we're going to be doing a refresher, kind of like morning coffee, a very casual thing just to talk about what the state of events is right now and what they'll look like moving forward. So now that, right now more than ever in the last 2 years, we're kind of stable and back to a more normal look for our sales events. We're doing sit-down lunches again. We're doing open houses. So things are looking a lot more normal. For those of you that have never served as an ambassador and have maybe said, hey, I'm interested in being involved, or I want to get more information, or this is the first time I'm hearing about it, but it sounds like something that it would interest me, we're going to be doing an interest meeting on the 9th. This room, 10 o'clock, just 2 days later. It's a very different message. I mean, sort of similar, but the idea is if you've been an ambassador and you're still interested in staying on, we'd love for you to come. If you don't come, you're not kicked out of the program. But for those of you that are interested in getting involved the 9th, and then for those of you who just live here in general, and you're like, the heck with this ambassador program, let's say that you're interested in just maybe you're available and you're around Saturday morning the 4th. We'd love for you to come and help be a tour guide. We're doing an open house. We already have about 70 people RSVP'd to this open house. This is going to be the last one we're going to be able to do for a while, and you'll find out why on the next bullet point. But we have, like I said, about 70 people. The list is growing, and oftentimes when we do an open house, we like to have as many residents be the tour guides as possible. So as much as we'd love to be able to connect with every single person that comes in, there's only 7 people on the sales team, and the community works with a pretty light staff on the weekends. So anytime we can get y'all to help us with those events, it's an enormous lift, and the experience from the customer is actually heightened because they get to hear from somebody who lives here. Right now we've got about 20 folks helping out. That could be enough, but our goal is to get maybe like 30 to 40 residents to help out at that event. If you're interested in helping, come grab my ear or email Amanda Indenbaum. We would love some extra help with that event. Whether you're an ambassador or you've never served, we would take your help. And the qualifications for being an ambassador, I should tell you, you need to be a resident, and you need to be able to fog a mirror, okay? Thank you, Terry. As that sinks in, okay, for those who got the joke first, we'd like you to be an ambassador. And kind of on these 3 bullet points, I did want to highlight, so Sarah, I know George quickly mentioned that earlier, but most of you have interacted with Sarah at some capacity, right? So you've tried to email George, and she's been like the steel wall in front that has intercepted those emails. Well, the best sale we made all year was we were able to convince her to come and be part of the sales team. And so we're excited that this week she's transitioning, over the next couple of weeks really, she'll be transitioning onto the team. She will actually be leading all 3 of these events. So she will be our new sales event coordinator, and she'll be kind of leading the charge on that end. So maybe you were like on the fence about being an ambassador, but now you know that Sarah's part of the team. Maybe that's what will get you over the fence. I'll even stand out of the way if that's what it takes. But we just want to welcome Sarah to the team. She's going to be a huge asset. And yes. Clapping is good. And then finally, how many of you have a door in your hall that does not have a nameplate on it? So like a name like Smith or Coos or Barney, right? So how many of you have a door in your hallway that doesn't have one? So this morning we had a bunch of names. Well, guess what? In a couple of weeks, you won't see that because as of 2 Fridays ago, we are completely sold out. So we have no more apartments available. Some of those have not been occupied yet. We've got people moving in. But we do get a lot of questions like, hey, how are things going? You know, where are sales? At the moment, we have no available inventory. So it's a good and a bad problem to have because it's really challenging when we're doing sales tours. But if you look over my right shoulder, if there was a window right there, you'd see we've got about 188 more issues coming down the pike. Those are new apartments that are being built, and we're going to be selling those. So we are very busy. We'll be starting to sell those in the fall. But at the moment, we have no available apartments, which is exciting. It's exciting to see that Windsor Run is still a very popular place. That being said, I am going to turn the mic over to yours and my Executive Director, George Comfort.
Good afternoon, my name is George Comfort. I am going to be doing the dining update because Kelly is going to either go to an interview or I'm giving her a pass on the first resident town hall. I'll put her up here next month for you. So, and plus, you know, when it's good news, I like to give good news. So, and there's good news to share with you today. Next month, on June 1st, we are going to be opening the Willows for your dining pleasure. So, very long awaited, and we've been planning it. It was, finished about a year ago right now, close, sort of in the summer we finished it, and so we had the space, we just didn't have the people. Now we are pretty sure, we're still in the process, we're sort of betting that things will all happen the way they should. We just hired 4 more cooks that started this Monday. We have a couple of more starting in a couple of weeks. So we feel comfortable that we'll be able to open the Willows for your dining pleasure starting June 1st. Now the caveat is, we're going to do sort of a soft opening, and I'll explain why. It's going to initially, for the month of June, be the same menu as the Grove. So it will really just be an extension of the Grove temporarily for the month of June. It will be an extension of the Grove, and it will be open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, slightly different hours. So it'll be 5 to 7:30. We're doing all that for a couple of reasons. So we're easing into using this as a restaurant because what it takes is us to use that second line that we constructed in the back in the kitchen and 2 lines and 1 dish pit and a lot of people moving around, pulling food in and out, taking dirty trays of dishes back into the 1 dish pit. We want to make sure that the flow of people, we can figure out how to do that well without dishes and food ending up where they don't need to be. So we want to sort of get our feel and get our feet under us on operating 2 cook lines, 1 dish pit, and roughly 50% additional people moving in and out of that kitchen as they serve another restaurant. So that'll be sort of our transition period for the month of June. Starting a little bit before June the 1st, I don't know what the day is, but we'll certainly let you know. You will be able to make a reservation to specifically eat dinner in the Willows. So right now, when you go onto the My Erickson app and to make a reservation, right now you just have one choice, and you go onto the app, you do click the Grove, and then you make your reservation. At that point, in a week or so, you'll have two options. One will be the Grove and one will be the Willows. So you can specifically make a reservation if you would like to eat in the Willows. And that will start when we open the Willows up for your dining pleasure. In mid-July, we will open it as a new restaurant with its own menu. We'll continue with the hours that we are going to have. One of the reasons that we're doing that is we will still be using this space for activities, and so we want to maximize the time that we can have afternoon or activities in the afternoon. So we just thought we would shift the hours for the Willows 5 to 7:30 to give us a little bit more time to do activities here in this space. There will be no change in the service in the Grove at all. So it just continues the way it currently is. So opens in June for your dining pleasure, and in mid-July, sometime after July 4th, we'll have it as a completely new restaurant with its own menu, and probably have a nice grand opening for that as well. So, and as they say, sometimes along with good news comes some not so good news. So starting on June 1st, since we are opening another dining venue, we are going to start charging for delivery. We're doing this for a few different reasons. Number one is, now that we have the capacity to serve our residents at sit-down dining, we think that it's the right time to do this. It's always been in the plan to charge for delivery for a few reasons, and you see them up there. So first, foundationally, when we build our communities, one of the foundational principles of the construction design as well as the programs that we operate are to encourage socialization and discourage isolation. And so that was part of our thought process as we were making this decision about charging for delivery. We want to continue to not encourage isolation and in fact encourage socialization and discourage isolation. Probably one of the bigger driving factors, although I think the first philosophy is important, but it does actually cost us additional money. Right now, we have approximately 600 residents, and we deliver approximately somewhere between 40 and 70 meals every night. So if I just take an average and say that's 60 meals a night for 600 residents, that means that 90% of the population is subsidizing the cost for 10% of the population to receive a convenience service. And it does cost us money because to get those meals out into the community, we could be having one or more people going to all 5 buildings, all floors in every building to deliver a meal out to where it needs to go. And they will be out in the buildings in the community, not in the Grove or the Willows, serving residents. So it is additional labor that we incur to get those meals delivered. So we think it's, when you came through the sales process, you learned that our financial model is one that's pay as you go. Like everyone pays for service. We don't include housekeeping for everyone like some retirement communities do, because we feel if you want housekeeping, you choose it. We're not going to force it on you. So in this way, those folks that are using the delivery service would be the ones paying for it, not the rest of the community. Residents who we place on quarantine will not be charged, obviously. So we place you on quarantine, we will bring your meals to you and not charge you for that. A couple of quick notes, we are actually developing a carry-out program for the Grove and for the Willows so that your takeout options will increase if indeed you don't want to pay $5, but you still want to eat in your apartment, which is certainly fine. You'll have an expanded menu options as soon as we put that program into place. So you would be able to order off of the Willow's menu or the Grove menu and pick it up and take it back to your apartment. And I think it would be fairly obvious to say, but I'll clarify, the declining balance can't be used for the delivery service. The $400 dining dollars that you get every month, we think should be used for your nourishment and health and well-being, as opposed for a convenience fee of delivery. It's sort of similar in analogy to not using declining balance for liquor. If we allowed folks to use declining balance for liquor, there may be many of us who might drink our meals much more than we should. So we want to encourage health and well-being as opposed to vice and not so health and well-being. So we're going to lead right into Q&A. Ryan will be our runner. If you'll raise your hand and wait for Ryan to come around, your name and apartment number.
Any questions? Questions?
You are such a funny boy.
Oh man!
And we love you for it. Okay, sir. I noticed that you said on quarantine. There are a number of residents here who are unable to go to the Willows or to the Grove or to the cafe. Now, are they going to be charged if they have meals delivered to their homes?
The answer to your rather direct question is yes. And what I would follow that up with is, if someone is not able to, on a regular, ongoing, normal basis, not able to get out of their apartment, so they're, I guess, not socializing either. They're not active in cards, they're not going outside the gates, they are holed up in their apartment, we're going to have a conversation and say, maybe you need a higher level of care so that you can socialize in an environment that encourages you to eat with others and socialize and get the care that you need. Now, if someone has an emergency, for instance, a knee replacement or some sort of surgery, where they're in their apartment for a short duration, temporary, then what we would encourage is the resident volunteer team, someone that can, for a few days, bring them their meals and are willing to do that because the volunteers are willing to provide those services for fellow residents.
Thank you, sir. May I ask one more question?
Of course.
Hey, you gave it to me. I'm really concerned about the fact that on Sunday, while we were waiting to be served at the Grove, trash was rolled among the guests and the residents during that time. And it wasn't just an annoyance, but it was really, we had guests here and I don't think it was the proper time to roll the garbage in front of the Grove.
I would agree with you.
Yes, and I thank you for taking that
Yep.
under consideration.
We will get that corrected.
I have a question about the charge for delivery. The people who are chronic delivery receivers been talked to about this and surveyed to find out what are the reasons that they are and what are their needs and how can they be met?
No, we have not surveyed all of the chronic or any of the folks receiving delivery currently. I will anticipate that I will get a lot of emails from regular folks, and I will first refer them to this to make sure that they have actually heard the reasoning behind it, and then we'll have a conversation with them and see what their reason is and what best direction to go.
I would suggest that the decision be really data-based. That those people who have real needs, based on the data you receive, be considered as possible delivery recipients.
We'll certainly be making the right decision. Next. Ryan's got to get his exercise.
I'm Loretta Snyder, and I reside at Dogwood 223. I have two questions for you, George. My first is a follow-up. Several months ago at one of our town hall meetings, I had brought up the inquiry about the possibility of handrails in some of the common areas, particularly this long walk that we take after we get off the elevator going into the Grove, the area outside of the cafe. And I think at one point you had said you were going to look into that. I didn't know if we had done anything further, if that was something we can't aesthetically do for us. It just would be a convenience for many of the residents, myself included, who like to hold on just a little bit of security while we're walking into dinner or to different areas around the building.
I did actually ask our design and development team about that, and I ended up taking lots of pictures to sort of show how in some of the, for parts of the common area, we have a complete, handrail situation, and then it drops off as people go around the Grove, and then it picks back up. And there was essentially a rather vague answer about, well, it's not part of our program to put rails around there. I think what I'll do is take it up with the general services team and see if we can do that on our own without design folks involved.
That would be great.
So I can't promise that there'll be a rail at every edge, but we'll see what we can do to sort of
That would be
add
helpful.
some.
Thank you, appreciate it. And my other question is, I'm in the C parking lot, and the door that I use, it's outside of the area, that's the patio area out there. The door that I use is D3, and I don't know about any of the other entrances from people getting into their doorways from their parking lots. Would it be possible to get any kind of a roof or an overhang over that door? When it's raining, you're there, you have your groceries, you push and you have to stand there and wait, and it's raining on you and so forth. Is that a possibility we can look into?
We are actually working on that. We did probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did a survey of the community to sort of understand, because some places have a covering of some sort, some don't. So we sort of took an inventory to see what they look like, and then we're in the process of planning to install some awnings. It will probably be in 2023. We'll put the capital project, we're getting the numbers for how much it will cost. We'll put it into the budget as we plan for next year and execute it next year probably.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
There has been improvement in what I'm getting ready to ask, but when you order your meal, can the condiments be brought along with the meal? Because a lot of times they are not. During brunch, they usually are, but if you have mashed potatoes, if you have baked potato, you need butter and sour cream, and if you order that, it doesn't always come when the order comes. And another thing, if you order soup, the soup ought to come first. And the residents given enough time to eat to have the soup before they have their meal.
Okay, you are correct. The soup should come first. Any sort of appetizer or pre-entree item should indeed come first. We'll continue to train the students about that. And I'll remind about the condiments. I think there are some condiments like sour cream and butter that are delivered on the table, or should be, and we'll remind them of that. But then there are some that you may have to ask for. So they're less consistently common.
Well, I'm just saying with the order.
That's what.
If they order it, then you ought to bring it.
Well, yes, if you ordered the condiment ahead of time, yes, the student should bring it, so we'll remind them to do that.
Janet Clift, SS 405. I want to know when the hot tub is going to come.
That's an excellent question. As many of you know, I exercise in the fitness center, so many times a week I'm passing that spa closed sign. And can you come over and borrow? Oh, okay.
I didn't realize she was answering.
Oh, yeah.
What hot tub are you referring to? I will tell you, we have ordered 2 new heaters, and we are waiting on a schedule from the plaster company. And once we get that schedule secured, we will update you about when we're going to start a complete spa repair. By complete spa repair, it involves a bunch of steps that we hope will make the spa more enjoyable and reliable. So thank you for asking the question.
Hi, I'm Barbara Sherrill, and I'm in White Oak. I have a couple of questions. 2 of them are praise. I really thank the food people and the young people who wait on us and service. I'm just so proud of them about how they try so hard to learn how to deal with us and how they service. I really do commend them. The second praise that I have is the grounds. I think they're beautiful. I'm a gardener. I've enjoyed walking my dog and seeing the beauty, which leads to my question. When are we going to get the benches around White Oak? And the second question is, we need help on bingo on Saturday because none of this sound system works, and the women and people doing the bingo can't get the microphone to work. They can't get any sound, and it's a fiasco. And then my third question, since this meal thing came up, wonder if you have surgery. I mean, you're not quarantined, but you have surgery, and you do need some food delivered, but you can't, you know, you're at the mercy because you had surgery.
Excellent question, especially from one of our newer residents.
Yeah.
We do have so there's a couple of different things. We do have a Helping Hands program that is our residents volunteering to help other residents. And that's a good situation where we think that's a good use of the Helping Hands folks. A temporary emergent situation where you come home and you're immobile and can't come out for maybe a few days or a week. I hope it's short. You can call the Helping Hands folks and ask to have, if there's someone available to have a meal delivered. Of course, you can pay for the $5 if you don't want anyone else handling your food. So.
Benches.
Oh, benches, yeah. Does Bo or Karen know a schedule on the benches? Thank you. And while they're sort of situating, I hear you on the bingo and the microphones. We'll fix that to have someone available to be able to make that easier.
We would appreciate
Yep.
that.
So the question was about the timing for benches in White Oak Terrace. This was something that was ordered by the contractor as they started. They were on back order for a very, very long time. Benches that we ordered before they did just arrived, so I'm anticipating that they'll be coming very soon.
Great, thank you.
I'm Linda Theed, I'm in Beach Hollow, and I just wanted to announce that this afternoon at 4 o'clock in the Terrace Theater, there's going to be a reading of some poetry and some other short pieces, and I think you might enjoy coming, and I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Smattering of applause.
Yeah. The poetry fans in the room applauded.
And other readings.
Oh, and others. So poetry and other readings.
Last call.
Going once, twice. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next month.
Thank you.